lunar rover lands on the surface of the moon and randomly goes through a sapphire disc and takes one of the drawings and with basically a fancy finger draws it into the surface of the moon and then moves and does the next. So of course there's no wind, there's no tide, there's no footprints, a few. But, so yes, I'm about to have a drawing that's going to be etched into the surface of the moon that will be there. I know, I'm very excited. It's because an opportunity that only 9,000 of us can say that we took advantage of. And then I remember when I was in elementary school and was doing my drawings and my teacher was like, oh, you'll never do anything. And so, this is for Inez, suck it. All right, now you can start filming. Good morning, I'm Dean Weingarden. I came the very first year for TransArt. I submitted, they for some reason selected me and I showed up. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I began to draw. For me, I started drawing when I turned 50. I know it is amazing and I hate to shock you that someone this smart, this talented, this beautiful is over the age of 50, but I'm 54. So I began to draw because during my transition, my concern was, I started transitioning in 1981. That's usually everyone's curiosity. My curiosity for me was, what is going to happen to my body as I age? I didn't have the language for it. I had just ended a very long-term relationship, and I thought, what is that? What is ahead of me? And so these doodles became to be a little bit more formal. And I began to find a language because I began to, first drawings were drawings that I did of the body that I imagined myself having. And so, and a lot of times the perception of my body. So I kind of began to really heal myself and explore what was it going to be like aging with my body through my work. And it was incredibly healing. So, as I said, the very first year when I began to do my art and begin to draw, that's when I found my voice. And now I haven't been able to shut up. So they coined the term and billed me as a motivational speaker. So I'm getting used to this new identity that I'm now a motivational speaker. So I'm going to motivate the hell out of you today. By the way, I do occasionally use inappropriate language, so I'd like to just apologize ahead of time. I know that it was before noon and it's not very ladylike, but I will give it my best. The reason with this talk is, all I'm sharing is how I got here. How I got to this point, third year of showing, and kind of the trajectory that I took. And I wanted to be motivational because simply, not only as just a woman, but as a trans woman, I want everyone to do well. I want everyone to succeed. It is not a competition. So you may dance, you may sing, you may draw, you may paint. I want all of us to do well. There's room for all of us at the table. And if there's not room, as a trans artist, no matter what your discipline is, no matter what kind of art you do, I want you to walk up to the table and say, excuse me, could you scoot your chair over because I'm going to sit here. Make a place for yourself at the table if there's not a place for you at the table. Also, at the end of this, I'd like for you to leave with the sense of you have full permission to be an artist. You are creative. We all are creative because we're human. Part of our original design and how that we're here on this planet, is there's something in the core of our humanity and our psyche, there's a creative energy. If you look anthropologically all around the world, every culture, everything's decorated, the people are beautiful, there's creativity, there's art everywhere. Try and find some place on this planet where there's not art, and that there wasn't something that came out of this real pure human expression. So it's in our nature. It's part of our original wiring. So wake up to it, tap into it, because it is a very strong, powerful force. It also will give you the freedom to say and draw and express whatever you need to, whatever you want to, and however you desire. I will say this as a little synopsis. You can't get your art wrong. Don't correct me grammatically. You can't get your art wrong. Same thing, you can't get your life wrong. And you definitely can't get your transition wrong. It's your transition. However you choose to do it, express it, and however you choose to show up and be, shine. I'm asking you all to shine. We are the ones that are to not live a small life. We are called. We are the ones that realize, hey, there's a spark. There was something, whatever term you use, and whatever the current politically correct term that just happened an hour ago that I don't know about, but whatever that term is, that you said, hey, my gender experience is different. I'm somewhere on this little continuum. And so you took that first step and you expanded as a person. So now I want you to keep expanding. Tap into that creative energy. We've already begun to expand. We've already begun to self-diagnose. We've already begun to be more self-aware. Use that. We're going to tap into that. It's an unlimited source of power that is available to you. It's your creative energy. Everybody has it. And if this is a new conversation with you for today, congratulations. Because you're going to leave here and you say, maybe I should expand. Maybe I should do a little bit more art. So the title, that's the synopsis. If you continue to stay for the next 4.5 hours, not really, I'm not going to talk 4.5 hours. I appreciate it. Because I want us to kind of deconstruct it a little bit and look into this and see how that this can apply to you. However you choose to be creative. All of you are creatives. You're human, whatever your gender experience is, that's one thing. But you're all, because you're human, you're creative. So however you choose to express your creativity, whether it's through cooking, whether it's through sewing, I mean, it's unlimited. Then that's what I want you to use as your source. For many times, and for many of us, depending on the disparities of our life, or the life situation, or circumstances, work, family, home, and relationships, sometimes the best way to decompress is to do something very creative. You know, and if you mention and you talk to other people who say, well, you know, I used to do some art, I used to do some painting, and then I kind of stopped. And then they find themselves, what happens when you stop? A little bit of irritability, discontent, something's not quite right, maybe I don't feel comfortable anymore, all kinds of situations. Brene Brown once said, and I listened to this, and it really struck with me, and I just kept going with it, and it has a little bit of a core of what I'm saying today. Because that creative energy is in us and it's not used, when you do not use that creative energy that's part of your humanity, at the base core of who you are, it's what motivates you, is this fount of energy. Because life is exciting. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But when you don't use that energy, it's not benign. It metastasizes. And it can turn into depression and bitterness, a discontent, a real negative mindset, a feeling of, I don't know, why bother? And that's those little bitty phrases that kind of start into our thinking that we don't pay attention to. Those are the little thunderstorm warnings that come across the TV screen. You have a choice. You can read the warning, Broward County is now under 8 feet of water, or you can keep watching a movie and it just scrolls right across. You are in control. You get to choose exactly what you want to pay attention to. So those little thoughts, it always, self-defeating thoughts always start with something very small. They don't get it. They don't understand. She has no idea. She's trying to clock me. My family's on my nerve. You know, whatever it is, these little phrases, that's the little thunderstorm warnings. Just let them go. You don't have to believe everything that you think. Our brains are always transmitting and broadcasting signals. So all of that negative thinking, just recognize it. But what I want to say from my heart is really be kind to yourself. If you recognize that you have this thought pattern that's limiting you from being creative and from living and functioning at your highest potential, and whatever that is for you. And why? Because you can't get your life wrong. It's your life. You can't get your transition wrong, and you can't get your creative expression wrong, however you choose to do it. So when we compare ourselves, that's when we're limited. So I want us to keep expanding. That's just the word you're going to keep hearing, expanding, expanding, expanding. I made some notes, so I have to kind of pull them up real quick because I get excited, and I just want to keep going, going, going. Limiting beliefs. Who has a limiting belief that they can share? Who's got it? Come on. You're creatives. Who has a, it's a workshop, we're going to work this. Yes?
My work's not good enough.
My work is not good enough. Yes. Comparative. Because do you ever find, and I'm just using you as an example, you don't put me on the spot, but it's like, it's not good enough compared to what? You know, this is what I saw, this is what I did, whether it was sculpture, whether it was sewing, whether it was fabric, whether it was writing, whether it was spoken word, whether it was dance, whatever. If you're passionate about it and you tap into what you're passionate about, and then you've got this base of energy, this creative energy that's in every single human being that is born and alive on this planet, and when you connect the two, you are unstoppable. Look at me, I have a drawing on the moon. I have a drawing that flew on the last flight of the Space Shuttle Discovery. And yes, I'll figure out how to brag about that one more time before the session's over. So the limiting beliefs, my work is not good enough. Another one that you may hear is, I'm not really an artist. This is just like a hobby. So ask yourself, if this is a hobby, this was something that interested me, and it was something that I kind of reached out and thought, I might start doing this, or I do some watercolors there once in a while, but it's nothing really big. Well, how do you feel when you're spending time with your art? How do you feel when you're expressing your creativity? Is it something that you're really drawn to? Or do you find yourself like, I really want to build big things and weld them together and make sculpture, but I don't know how to do that? Maybe that's your body, your creative energy trying to tell you this is your purpose. This is your creative purpose. You're drawn to it. It's real simple. I wished it was more complicated and I was making big bucks revealing the mystery, but it's free, it's pretty easy. It's that simple. Think about it. When we get quiet, we get still, that's where all the answers come in our lives, because we're very distracted. Turn off the TV, plug your earbuds, put your phone down for a second, take a moment, get quiet, get still, and really listen. Trust yourselves. We've had to listen to our bodies to get to this point. Don't stop listening. That's disrespectful. Keep going. Tap into that creative energy. Say, what is it that I'm drawn to? I always seem to like, I don't know, I'm drawn to metal. I just like, I just want a welder, weld thing for my, well, we all love a welder, but I'd like, some equipment or something where I can do this, and you put that on your wish list, and you think, I couldn't do that because I've never done this before, I don't know how to get started. And what is that? The self-defeating thoughts. It's that cycle. So in your mind, today, you can just reframe that and say, that's the thunderstorm warning. I do not have to pay attention to it. In just about 60 seconds, it will pass. So any of that negative thinking, if you really don't buy into it and you don't kind of pull it down into your thinking, surveys, studies, research, in 12 to 15 seconds, that thought is going to move on out of your way and you'll think about something else. It's kind of an impulse and an urge. So I want you to kind of feel free to be able to say, I'm going to ignore that and keep pressing on because Dee said that I have this creative power available to me. And we all do. A lifetime of angst, people always wanting to do something creative or being very jealous of people that are creative and not taking the time to explore what does it do. If your intent is because you want to be famous and you want to be published, whatever, you have to get started at some point in time. You have to have something to offer. You have to do the first drawing, or I did. I had to do the first drawing before I could say, I just had this published. I had to do the first drawing before I could say, now I can do a website. I had to do the first drawing and kind of really show it, put it out there. I now have a gallery that's representing me, but I would have never had this opportunity if I hadn't said, okay, I'm putting my work out there, I'm identifying myself as an artist, and now I'm going to show it to the world. And you have permission to do that. It's very life-giving. Not everybody's going to like your stuff. She pulled up like my website, which is, and this is my style, this is my work that's here on the wall. It's a very different style. I get that, and not everybody appeals to it. Not everybody's going to buy it and collect it. That is unfortunate for them, because my work will just absolutely make you more smarter, more attractive, your whole lifestyle improves, all your friends are impressed. So that is a guarantee. You won't get your money back, but that is a guarantee your life will improve. And also, I take photographs going through a car wash. There will be some of those in display at the hub. And then a new venture that I'm doing is actually marrying a drawing and a photograph together. And I'm so excited. So I real quickly got this one framed up because I wanted to bring it and show it here to everybody. And again, it's just the evolution. So on the limiting part of it, we could go on. I don't want to spend all the time on what are the limiting beliefs. But the main thing is I want to put what are the transformative beliefs. This way is. This is a kick in the ass type thing. So if you identify yourself as creative and you are doing something creative, who are you? So who's the audience? Are any of you doing art? Or anybody? Yes, yes. It's okay to be first and raise your hand. Yes! Yes! That's it! Because you're a safe crowd. We're all here. The doors are locked. Don't worry about it. You can get out. So just raise those hands. So let's workshop this a little bit. One of the things is that not only are we realizing that we are creative, we have to use this creative energy because it needs to be expressed. It services. We have to do something with it. So we don't want this to metastasize in some sort of a negative belief or a negative thought pattern or to limit us in some sort of way of like, I started, but I just don't think I'm any good at it, and I just put it down. To me, those are always the sad thoughts. Also, the sad thoughts are when someone says, I can't even draw a straight line. I thought, well, fine, don't draw straight lines, draw curves. You know, do something else. For me, that's why they make rulers. I mean, you know, so whatever. I mean, there's all different ways that you can express your art. So when we're tapped into the creative source, we are expressing a little bit of, okay, I'm going to do something creative no matter what it is. How does that make you feel? Do you enjoy it? For me, as a hospice nurse and dealing with death and dying on a daily basis for 9 years, I came home and my art is what helped me decompress. My art and, of course, walks along the bay, all of that really helped me decompress. And I also used, like I said, when I first started drawing, which was 4 years ago, my art was healing for me because it helped me understand I had a language in my art that I didn't have already. To be able to talk about how my body was going to change and just the worries and concerns, how to find people. You know, I've been on hormone therapy for 36 years. Where are other people that have been on this long and how are their bodies changing? Now, I have so many questions. The only way that I could really rein in the anxiety a little bit was through my art and kind of drawing. So I do believe that I have become the woman that I have always envisioned myself to be. But my art really helped me kind of understand, hey, this is the body that I envisioned for myself. And it helped me really express that in a way that was healing more so than what any therapist could have offered. So that's what I want for all of you. So we talked about limiting beliefs. We talked now a little bit, let's talk about the transformative beliefs, really about it comes in the doing. You want to change your life and you want to change your circumstance, you really do have to change your language. And I understand you can't just say, voila, I wished I had a bed to sleep in, and it appears. But a lot of it is changing your language. What is the self-talk? What is it that you're really telling yourself? And what are you really believing? Truth is, if you don't know it, I'll tell you, don't believe everything you think. Random thoughts just come through our minds. You don't have to pull them down. They're just thunderstorm warnings. You don't have to focus on it. Keep watching the program. So my ultimate goal, ultimately, if this was the 8-hour workshop, I really want everyone to leave and feel empowered to be able to say, yes, I get to define my creative time. I have permission to be an artist. You have a permission to be the best at what you do. You don't need anyone else to tell you, oh, you're not good enough. Or that's kind of not what we're looking at. That's fine. If they don't like your art or they don't like what you're looking at, that's fine. What you did was great. What you did was right. You can't get your art wrong. And just keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating. Are we doing okay so far? I know I'm moving quickly, but we're splitting time, so I want to make sure I hit highlights. Are we okay so far? Everybody's putting grasping. Any problems with the idea that we all have a core creative energy that really needs to come out and be expressed? Can you get that part? At least you can leave with that. And you know that you can leave today and knowing that, hey, I have permission to be an artist. I don't need anyone to tell me. So for me, the first time I ever showed my art in a show, I had 3 that were published, and it was the Outrider Review, but the whole issue was about gender transformation. And so they said submit one drawing. Being an overachiever, I did 3. They published all 3, and then I went, shit, what do I do now? And then I thought, oh, well, I guess I have to say I'm an artist. But I wasn't comfortable with that. And I sat on it forever. And then this came up. It was a post, Cade Clark, I always forget his last name. And I posted on this TransArt Facebook group about TransArt and this Unity Coalition in Miami. And I thought, who doesn't love Miami? Of course. I'm going to submit. And then they said yes, and I didn't believe them because I still was so insecure about it. I had to email them and say, like, so what all does this mean exactly? And they're like, you're showing your art! You know, and I was like, oh! And I showed up and I was so excited. I felt so vulnerable. And I had no clue what I was doing. And I watched everybody and I thought, oh my gosh, they all know what they're doing. And there was lots of people. And I just thought, this is amazing. So it was an incredible experience. It was a transformative experience in that because then I left there and I said, I now have shown my art. And I've shown it in a very big market. Miami has a hot art scene and has a very large market for artists. And so it was kind of like, wow, this is kind of cool. So then they were fortunate enough to invite me back the second year, and I showed more. And so here I am in the third year. So I'm very excited because I've continued to evolve and grow and expand as an artist, and also the people that I have met through this experience. I've also been able to show my work in Los Angeles and New York, where it had nothing to do with the fact that I was trans. It was just the fact that I was an artist. And that was a whole other experience. The first showing after that was in Brooklyn, and I stood there and I thought, they really accepted me as an artist on the skill and the talent and ability. And that was really a very emotional moment for me. I had a hard time almost processing it a little bit. Kind of felt a little like way out there. But I also had all the strength of like everybody that I had met and had experienced and been with here at TransArt, that I kind of stood on that when I was there. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm an artist. So I have to kind of get moving with this. On the transformative beliefs, one of the things that we have to realize, your art is yours. You choose who has the right to see it and who has the right you share it with. You have the power. You pick who you want to put your art up. If you don't want to show it with everyone and you say, I really feel like this is a demographic for more masculine identified people and that's only where I want to show my work, then it's okay to do that. You have permission. Why? Because you're in charge. It's your art. It's your expression. You own it. You own all of it. However you choose to show it and display it, it's all yours. And you don't have to explain that to anyone. And the reason you're doing that is because what? You're writing your own mission statement. So mission statements, I encounter them in healthcare. Everyone says, oh, we want to provide this. Businesses have a mission statement, how they want to express or show their business. For you as an artist, I want us to be encouraged to write our own artistic mission statement. My name is Weingarden. I'm beautiful and attractive and smart. And I do digital drawings. They're line drawings. They're very complex. I love the interconnection of all the lines. And ultimately, I'm completely satisfied if you buy them, but even more so if I can get you to lean in and take a look. There's a lot going on in these drawings. There's usually lots of naked body parts. If you feel like you see something, yes, you're right. And if you lean in and take a look, then I've done it. I'm happy, I'm thrilled. Same thing with abstract photography. I do abstract photography. I have these incredible images that show up that I take while I go through the car wash. I drive the cleanest car in town. And yes, I'm unique. If I'm out of town, I'm like, oh cool, let's go through the car wash. And there's a lovely Uber driver here that took me through a car wash in September. And it was really, well, this is the first. But he was able to take some pictures. Everybody responds to them. They like them. If it's abstract, whatever you see it. The idea with your art as well as with my art. However you choose to present it and show it, it's yours. You own it. But remember, it's about what's the feeling. You don't have to completely understand every detail that went into the drawing or the story. If you look at some art and it gives you a feeling, that's great. That's the purpose. So that's what I encourage you with yours. You may know the full story of your art, but when you put it out there, it's okay to just give it a simple title and come up with a sentence or two of what you're presenting. And if you choose to tell them the backstory of everything, great. If you choose to disclose yourself as a trans artist, great. If you choose not to and just say, hey, I'm an artist and this is what I do, remember, why is it? Because you can't get it wrong. It's your art. It's yours. How are we doing so far? Everybody knows it. Good. So in showing your work and putting it out there, remember, I know there's a workshop I think tomorrow that's going to be talking more about using social media. It's really important. And all I can say is, I want you to have the confidence to be able to show your work. I want you to have the confidence to put it out there. It is nerve-wracking because it's something that came from yourself. It was an idea. And even if you feel like, oh, this is strange, I don't know, please don't clarify and define your own work in that sense of saying, oh, it's strange, it's odd, it's weird, unless it's a positive term for you. But otherwise, how you choose to draw, however you choose to create, however you choose to, whatever it is, from singing, dancing, you can't get it wrong. So it's not negative. So you can't say it's weird and strange unless that's a positive term for you. It's like, hey, I do weird, goofy art. I sometimes will refer to mine as weird, but I really make sure that I frame it up in a positive way. I it's like, they are odd. They are a little bit different. It's not the usual type of art that you see. So let's have a conversation. And I have some of those incredible conversations from just people saying, what's going on here? And it's like, well, yes, you do see what you see, and oh, these are the drawings. And these are beautiful conversations. All right, my notes timed out. Remember, you own your art. You don't have to give it away. You don't always have to donate your art. It's okay to sell it. It's okay to sell your art, and it's okay to put a value and a price on your art. You can gift art, that's wonderful. You can donate art if you want, but it's not a requirement. More people ask artists for donations because they feel like, oh, well, you can create something else. I let them know, yes, I'd be happy to donate this for this particular reason. But also, when it comes up to pricing your art, my suggestion is think about your time. If you're not comfortable in pricing your art and you're just getting started, think about what is my time worth? My time is worth $400 an hour. So, these paintings on the wall here, the silver frames, they're $800 in this market. But then I've done my research and I realized if I travel to a different market, I could probably hit and sell this for about $600 to $1,000 in Los Angeles, but I'm going to need to bump my prices up even more when I go to New York. It's just understanding your market. And that came from simply just asking questions about the artist. Don't be afraid to price your work and what you feel like it's valuable. If you show it and no one buys it, it's okay. Don't mark it down, don't run a sale, and don't say, oh well, nobody bought that. This drawing I'm so proud of. This is absolutely incredible. And I showed it in Los Angeles. It was a huge hit. Everybody generated lots of conversations. I went out for the opening. I met so many people talking about it. Nobody bought it. And I was like, okay. I packed it up and brought it here. It was like, I'm not getting rid of it. So I've seen people that have great work and they'll put it up in the show, or they'll do an art walk, or maybe get to show in a gallery, or they're showing from their own website or through Instagram, which I'm going to hit the pause button right quick and say, artist, if you are not using Instagram, that is the artistic platform, get on Instagram immediately. Because that's when you're going to make things happen. That's the magic. Because I can say, yes, here's my business card, my website. But honestly, you've got them. It's an elevator speech moment. You got them, you're standing there, hey, how are you doing? Here, you pull it up, you hand them your phone, let them scroll through your account. They've seen your portfolio. You set the hook. And then you come home and you follow up. Hey, let's drop some information on the follow-up. Oh, it's so great to meet you. I got to show you some of my art and I really appreciated it. However you want to do it. And if you want to do it, that's just sometimes how I do it in the situation of first meeting people. So I just always like to kind of promote that. Again, like I said, I know there's focus in another workshop about using social media platforms. But if you're not on Instagram, get on Instagram today. Start showing your art on Instagram. That's where the magic happens. How are we doing so far? Questions on anything? It's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to be first. That's the first question. Anybody? Comments? We're doing okay? Everybody understanding? We're there? Gotcha. Normally I like to move around and talk, so I'm trying to stand still for the camera, so maybe I'm not as energetic. I'm going to have to wake you guys up.
Move around.
Move around. Do you understand the concept of writing your own artistic mission statement? What you're thinking is, really 1 or 2 sentences, 6, 8 at the most, if you're a good talker. Write it out, rehearse it, and become comfortable with it. You market yourself, and that's because you're a creative. You're an independent contractor, you're a small business owner. I just left my nursing job, actually April 1st, and said, I want to do my art full time. I feel like this is where I'm going, this is where I'm most happiest, this is what I want to do. I have so many projects in the works, I need the time and lovely benefactors to do that. So I realized the only way to do that is to jump. And so it's like, if I'm going to do this full time, then I got to jump. I got to make it happen. It's all up to me. I'm the only person that can limit myself. I'm the only person that can block the flow of that creative energy. I'm the only person that can really make it happen. So yes, I have a gallery now that's representing me. They want to make some money off my art, which is great because I'm going to benefit in the process. And I have 3 more shows scheduled with them. I've done 4 this year. I'm excited. I'm going to be a busy girl. But I have all these different projects going. Also fabric sculpture project. I'm hoping to go live with this in July, Christmas in July. But anyway, I'm most excited about it. It keeps me awake at night. And also kind of exploring ways, again, I went back to the original in drawing things, then drawing my body, my perceived body, female form in the very beginning, early days, really helped heal me. So I went back and began to kind of explore how can I use my art to help me adjust and to heal with my PTSD. And so some of the most beautiful work that it's so intimate and yet so personal and so raw has come out of that, and I'm so excited. And you'll see that probably next year, hopefully if I come back again. It's called My Burqa. Because at times we all feel like, or I did, feel like it would be great if I could just put on a burqa and go out into the world, and then really didn't have to worry what anybody saw, how I presented. I would feel very comfortable in that burqa. So I transformed that into some of my art. And I just lost my train of thought. Because I looked here for some reason, and I don't remember why I had to. If you have a website, great. You know, promote it. It's up to you, your self-promoters. But it's not a competition. You know, you connect me. I'll follow you on Instagram. I'll repost you. I promote you. I want you to do well. Because if you're doing well and you're stepping out there and you're creative, no matter what it is, no matter what the expression of art is, it's yours. You own it. You're marketing yourself. I'm going to support you. And the whole idea is you want everybody else. If people are not supporting you and they are making those negative comments, which are what? Not to be listened to. They're just thunderstorm warnings. Just let them go. They'll be over in 60 seconds. If you don't focus on that negative thought, in about 12 to 15 seconds, that impulse to keep thinking about it is going to pass. So you just take a deep breath. Take some deep breaths, calm. And I say come up with your own little mantra. And say, that's not me. I don't have to buy into this. I don't have to listen to it. Whatever the phrase is for you. Redirect your thinking, but get back to that mission statement. Write it out, become comfortable with it, and then set on it, look at it a couple of days later and say, okay, yes. And it could be as very simple as, I enjoy taking nature photography. I want people to look at our world a little bit differently. It's beautiful, it's absolutely gorgeous. So it doesn't have to be elegant, it doesn't have to be formal, it can be elegant, it can be formal, it can be life-changing in one sentence. But it's just kind of, what is my mission statement? And it's important to do that because it keeps you on your path. It keeps you in your purpose. And that's the kind of thing that I really wanted everybody to kind of really savor and kind of marinate in their thinking. Is, okay, I enjoy being creative. She's given me permission to be an artist. I have this unlimited creative power that's available to me every day, every moment. And it's dying to be expressed, no matter. I mean, you can just be like the greatest host, give you a microphone and you're a person that just talks and entertains and makes everybody feel welcome. That's creative, that's artistic. You know, you may be funny and tell jokes and be able to be a stand-up comedian or an actress. That's your art. So come up with your mission statement. And all it is real quickly, if I was riding from one floor to the next in an elevator, what would I tell somebody when they say, oh, what kind of art do you do? And I beam, because it's like, yes, I have an audience, yes. And I tell them, oh, I do digital drawings, they're abstract, complex layers of lines, I do some abstract photography, and I love just creating conversations about the stories that show up in my art. Boom, ding, door opens and they're off the elevator. Here's my business card, touch later, love you. You know, so that's what you gotta do. That's a funny example, but it's a matter of when people see that, oh, you do art, you show art, or you're talking about art, and they want to ask you some questions. Oh, everybody's always curious. What do you do? Artists are kind of, you know, unique in that sense. Everybody's like, oh, really? What kind of art do you do? Because everybody likes to say, oh, I sell shoes. Nobody really cares. Do you have a sale? They don't know what kind of shoes you sell. Just wondering, like, is there a sale going on, or can you get me a discount? Which is usually probably what my girlfriends would ask me if I sold shoes. Like, can you get me a discount? So you own it. Remember, you are creative. I sometimes like to introduce myself as a creative, more so than an artist. I just think it's a broader term. I just love it. I'm just kind of really enjoying that. However you choose to define yourself, it's okay. Because why? You can't get it wrong. It's your art, your life, your transition, however you want to express it. It's all yours. It's incredibly vulnerable to put it out there and to show it to the world. So I want you to be very confident. This was something that you created. If you identify, which I think there was about 10 of us that raised their hands, that you are an artist and you are creative, what you have within you, that comes from your creative energy in your mind, your brain. You thought that up. You saw that flower and said, that's beautiful, I'm going to stop and take a picture of it. It captivated you. That, you know, if you want to think of it as like a broadcast signal in your brain, you picked up on that signal. Nature spoke to you and you said, oh, this is really cool. Or I sat down and said, I'm doing a whole abstract. I watched this movie, The Cook, the Thief, the Wife, and His Lover. Old movie, Peter Graham, gorgeous film. And I drew those characters as abstract portraits. Now, how things typically happen sometimes is that maybe things might not go wrong. It was how I looked at it and phrased it, but we hung 2 of the drawings, and anyway, they fell and they broke, and one of them, the glass broke in the frame. It's over there on the table by Armani, and then the other one fell off during the night, and the whole glass and the frame broke. So they're deconstructed, and I'm just going to weave that into my talk. It's like it was cool and planned that way, because that's how I roll. So deconstructing, getting back to just the basics of using your art. Draw your drawing, however you want to frame it, present it, remember it's all yours. You have to have the motivation. You have to step up. I can't motivate you if you don't say, I'm willing. So you have to lean towards it a little bit and say, hey, I want to do this. I want to do my drawings, I want to do my art, how do I get started? I can't just sit here and give a talk, or let's workshop this, and then you walk out and say, now I have everything that I need to be an artist. Because that's not what this is about. It's a little bit of like, okay, you guys are already creative, you're already doing something. So I just kind of want to give everybody a good kick in the ass of like, do not live a small life. Remember, in our community especially, we've already begun the expansion into being whole people and to be who we are. And we've expanded in this world. Many of us are continuing to make space for ourselves in this world. Do that with your art. You don't need anyone's permission to be an artist. You don't need anyone's permission to define yourself as a creative. You can do this. I will celebrate it all day long. And find the people that celebrate your art. And if somebody doesn't like it, my sister thinks that my stuff is strange. She probably thinks that I should be medicated, who knows. But I finally did a drawing, and it was a commission piece, and I showed a picture of it to my sister, and she loved it, and she fell in, and I was surprised out of the world in all of her strangeness of her own type art that she likes. That didn't sound right the way I said it, but she really liked the drawing and said, oh, I love a copy of this. And I was like, you're going to be kidding me. My sister wants a drawing, you know, because she's always thought they were so odd and so different. But she made a connection with the story. And because not only just kind of the tagline, this is a drawing, this is what it's about, but I sat down and explained the whole story for her. Like, hey, this lady really wanted a drawing that celebrated her divorce, but yet in a positive way. She felt like she had a release, a whole new chance on life. So I drew a heart, and her instructions are, I just want an effed up looking heart. And so I did an effed up looking heart, and was really happy with it. And I told her, I said, you know, this is a commission, you can have the original, but it turned out so well that I'm going to continue to use this. And so it's been a good experience. My sister decided that, you know, she wanted a copy, which was very surprising. Develop your mission statement. I suggest and highly recommend writing it on paper, type it on the file, print it out. If you've ever been to my place, I like to call it the dressing room, but it's my bathroom mirror. I have things taped up on because this is where I need to get my head in the game, that I read every morning. And you know, and they kind of have a theme each year. And my theme this year is everyone has a story, tell them. So for those of us, regardless of our gender experience, our beautiful, complicated, messy stories need to be celebrated, but they need to be told. And so tell those in your art. You have this creative motivation, you have this thing about you that says, hey, I need to express my art, I need to do something, whether it's jewelry, weaving, again, this is unlimited what you can do. And if you want to tap into your own experience and your story and tell your art, there's elements of my story in every drawing, every photograph I talk about, because it all links back to something. It's all part of my story. So for that's me, that's where I've crafted my mission statement. That gives me a little bit of kind of what I'm putting out there to the world. It's my tagline, it's my bumper sticker. And people have about that much attention span. Because if you sit down and you say, well, I started when I was like 16, and then I was doing some graffiti work, and then I started working with skateboards, and I finally got to where I was doing some oils. Sometimes we've lost them. That's when they sit down later. Again, rehearse your little elevator speech, develop your mission statement, write it out, become comfortable with it. If you want, call me and ask me, text me, girl, what does this say? Because I'm going to tell you it's perfect. And I want you to do the same thing. When people say, how's your art going? Just say it's perfect. Because you can't get it wrong. When people ask me how I'm doing every day, I always say perfect. Because I can't get my life wrong. So that's the way I feel every morning when I wake up. So I want you to feel the same way when you're doing your art. Own it. It's yours. Be proud of it. It does take a little bit to get comfortable with it. The first year when I came here, I was just about ready to step out of my skin. I was so nervous because I thought any minute somebody's going to catch me trying to be an artist and they're going to throw me out. They're going to come up and say, you get out. But instead the response was just nothing but love. You know, it was just incredible. I love connecting with other trans artists. You know, and where I live, I don't have that access to a very large trans community. So I make my most happiest when I go around other trans persons because we have this amazing connection. I kind of almost feel like I know your story whether I know it or not. You know, I feel at home just because you're alive. And then when I'm around other trans artists, it's even more exciting. I met Armani the night and I just kept talking and it's exciting because he's doing a beautiful type of photography, and but it's not what I'm doing. I'm not going to try and create it or whatever, but it inspires me because it's a whole different perspective. My friend Vanessa does this incredible photography, and it inspires me. I was like, girl, I really like this one drawing. And I had the opportunity to sit, and she kind of explained to me a little bit about how she got there. I'm looking at the time. We doing okay? I have so much to say. I'm trying to hurry and get it all in. And the crux of what I want to do today is to just really understand, hey, well, I didn't ask her to do that, but that is nice. So creating purpose, it's all up to you. It's a solo project. I can't make you create purpose. I can't make you come up with whatever your artistic expression is. And if you don't know and you say, okay, since I have this creative energy, how am I to express something creative? Because that spark that I talked about earlier, where you caught it, your mind said, oh, that's really cool. Look at that. Or see how the sun comes out over the bay. I need to photograph that. You're the one that caught that. And so for all of us that are creatives, that is for you to bring into the world. And that's really what I want to take away. We're waiting on your art. We're waiting on your voice. We're waiting on what you have to bring to us. The world is gorgeous. If we looked back at this beautiful planet that we live on, we really live on a magical planet. I mean, it's amazing. You just take a few minutes and stop all the seasons. Our whole world we live in is always changing. Our lives are always changing. Our art should be always changing. It's not a permanence. So we're always a different person. I'm a totally different person than I was last year. Of course, I'm younger and more attractive and smarter, but I'm a totally different person than I was. I'm evolving. My art's evolving. So I give a little bit of an example with this, doing the drawings, also doing the photography, and also marrying the two together. Well, no wonder no one's looking at me. So I want you to find what it is. And a lot of that I can just encourage you, and I only know this from life experience because it works in every situation. If you find when it doesn't, call me, because then I'll need to adjust my talk. If you get undistracted, you've got to unplug. For me to feed who I am creatively, I do this for myself. I'm not saying you have to do it, but on Tuesday nights when I come in from work, and on Thursday nights when I come in from work, I unplug. I'm not online. There's no TV. Music is acceptable. And I'm not on my phone liking and liking, because to be honest, it's work. I'm posting pictures, I'm tagging this, I'm responding. I gotta hustle because I've now jumped. But I also know that I am worth and important and valuable enough to invest in myself. Each of you here are your best investment. Anything that you do for your own life to invest in yourself, whether it's learning, attending a workshop, eating, sleeping well, whatever it is, you are your best investment. So I'm investing in myself by unplugging. That's what works for me. Take some time. I can honestly just find some place where you can get quiet and still. Your mind has this river of gushing thoughts. You don't have to listen to every thought. Just let them go down the river. Only pick and choose the ones that are speaking to you. And what speaks to you, the core of who you are, it's a voice that has a real deep sense of the future about it. That's the voice to listen to. The negative, I don't know, they don't get it, they don't understand, maybe. That's not the voice to listen to. The voice to listen to is, you can do it. Here's a great idea. You know what nobody's thought of? And then you realize how many times, and don't lie, how many times have you thought of something and then later you see it invented or you see it on TV, you think, oh, I thought of that. Why didn't I do that? Because you're not unique. Those signals are broadcast out. If you hear it, pick up on it, do it. And maybe I can't do this one, so I pass. So when you do the hard work and you say, I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to show up, I'm going to get this going, the universe is always working on your behalf. It always, in whatever language you want to substitute for that, whatever your belief system is, the universe is always, always, always preparing ahead for you. The universe is always, folks, working on your behalf. That's part of our connection of living on this planet at this time and being human. So it's why we have this unlimited creative source available to us. It's powerful. That's why people are very successful, because they tap into it, they say yes, they take a deep breath, and they jump. I want you to jump at your own pace. I want you to jump at your own schedule. I want you to jump at your own time. But I want you to develop an artistic mission statement. You can't get it wrong. It's your art. It's however you choose to describe yourself, or you choose to put yourself out there. However, keep it less than 8 sentences. Sit on it, marinate, try it on for size, contact other trans artists. What I would really like to see, my vision and my future, is that from these trans art workshops and connecting, that we build a sense of community. Because then, if I've jumped, where's my other trans artists that are supporting me? And if I don't build them and connect them, then I'm really flying solo. And I get fatigued, I get tired. Sometimes I'm gonna lay down and take a nap. No, I don't want to do this. But then it's like, oh yeah, I was talking to so-and-so on the phone. You know, I'm borrowing this from another program, but it works well for me artistically. Find a group of creators, no matter what they do. And if you feel like, hey, I'm in a slump or I can't get started, all I ask you to do is to call 2 of them every day. Find 2 people and just call them. You'll get out of yourself, you'll get over yourself, and you will get a little bit more open and minded, like, oh, I'm going to do something different, by just connecting with another human. So just pick up the phone, text. Hey girl, what's going on? I'm kind of on that phone. And the next you know, oh, did I tell you this? Brilliant, just blah, blah, blah. And I've connected with another person. I've drawn some source. I've drawn some power. You can do that in your work environment. You have that one person at work that you can talk to and say, hey, let's grab lunch together. You know, you can, even if it's just girl talk, boy talk, it's gossip, it's trash talk, it's something you've made a connection. Otherwise, artistically, you can become stagnant. So I want us to go from static to dynamic. I want us all as a community to be successful. I want us all to be creative. I want us all to tap into that creative energy that's available to us. And it's real simple. There's no huge mystery. Lean in. Don't isolate. Call 2 people. The one that just works great in life. You know, because it's really easy. The demons are there. You can isolate, stay on the couch and watch TV and not talk about it. And you may need that kind for self-care. I get that. But if it's keeping you stagnant, if it's keeping you away from your purpose, I don't know what your purpose is. You're going to define your purpose. And how you're going to do that? You're going to get still and quiet and undistracted. You owe it to yourself to at least take some time, whether it's 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 12 hours, 24, and get undistracted. Unplug. And here's that voice that has a sense of the future and the things that I keep dreaming and thinking about, like, gosh, because I love doing my art. It makes me so happy. I love talking about my art. I mean, it's thrilling. I love being a nurse. It's a real struggle. I'm going to miss it. But also I have fantasies that I want to be a trapeze artist. And so I don't really know how that's going to work out. And I don't know that I'm going to be a trapeze artist, but right now I'm going to be an artist. So until I'm swinging from the air, who knows? I have to connect with other people. It's a simple thing. You don't even have to tell them I'm at a block. Just reach out and call 2 people. Anybody. Your mother, your neighbor, your coworker that you don't like, anybody. Just connect with 2 other people. And they all have something for you. So you're giving them some energy and some inspiration. They're giving you some. Everybody's just passing along. That helps us all do well. I want you to create to your best of your ability. I want you to be happy with what you put out into the world. And if you're not, I have hit the delete button sometimes. And also, you can paint over things, or you can mash up your clay, or you can undo the sewing if you want to. But I always say, I've learned now to kind of say, stop, pause, and I'm going to push it to the side, and I'll look at it when I'm in a better state of mind. It's your art. It's your work. However you choose to express it, it's yours. Remember, I'm going to give an explanation for what you produce. Those creative thoughts are there for you. Your brain picked up on that signal. That spark of inspiration came to you. You're the one that can, and the only one actually, that can bring that into the world. We all could take cameras right now and go out and photograph this whole city block. Everybody's going to look at it differently. Everybody's going to see something different. That's what's exciting. So I'm giving you a good kick in the ass. Let's get moving a little bit. I know that we have another workshop where we're going to kind of do a little bit of working lunch. I'm excited that you're all here. I'm here all weekend. You can talk to me, you can email me, you can text me. The main thing is I want to say, hey, in creating purpose, develop your own mission statement. That helps you stay on purpose. When you stay on purpose, you don't hear so much the negativity, the discord, the voices that sometimes block you or affect you emotionally. They get softer and quieter and more distant when you are on purpose. We all want to stay on purpose. Stay in that. If some reason you get off track, you wake up the next day and you start over. It's not permanent. Well, I was going to do art today, but I didn't. It's not a big deal. You wake up the next day and you try again. And then if you didn't do it then, you wake up the next day. It's all up to you. I hope that you got something out of this. I want to kind of wrap up a little bit. I know we've got some things going on. Are there any questions? I know it's a lot of information. I like to talk a little fast, but I did feel a sense of urgency. And thank you for all this that's been happening. Any questions, comments, observations? It's okay.
Very inspiring.
I'm sorry?
Inspiring.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I want us all to do well. But remember, we especially, out of all the people, I have said this, we are the ones that are to knock with us in your life. And however you choose to out yourself, you can be as out as you want to be. That's you. But you can also be as out as you want to be about being a trans artist. So if you only want to choose to bill yourself as an artist or a creative, I celebrate that. And if you want to ride the tide and say, hey, I'm a trans artist, then go for it. You're probably going to catch more people's attention nowadays than you would maybe 5-10 years ago. Everybody went, oh, girl, we don't do those type of shows. But now they're like, oh, great. So I'm catching more people's attention by being comfortable. I wasn't out until my first trans art show 3 years ago. So now I'm out and about, and still it happens. People come up to me and go, I never knew. And I'm like, that's okay. Do you want to buy this? Any questions, any comments, any observations, anything?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
This is self-service. Take any of this. If you want to isolate it, I can't believe she said that, then that's fine. The idea is take what serves you and just let the rest go. You know, find something that benefits you. I can't wait to see what you create. I can't see what you bring into the world. To be honest, the rest of the world is waiting. We're waiting for what you're going to create. We're waiting for what you're going to bring to us. And ultimately, it makes you brighter and more beautiful and more happier and more expressive. And then that's going to impact everybody that's in your world. So, let's get going. Thank you.